Hello, hello, hello. All right, so tonight I will be playing Slay the Princess. Just waiting for things to load up. Okay, so I've been kind of like wanting to play this game for a very long time. I watch no spoilers. I don't know what to do. Like I worked really hard. Like I've seen like people talking about it, but I still like avoided it because I really wanted to enjoy this experience specifically. Okay, so let's get into it. It says content warning. Here's your warning. Please heed it. This is a horror game and it is not intended for all audiences. Please visit our website, blacktabbygames.com, if you need a full list of content warnings. Slay the Princess contains flickering image effects as well as a parallax effects that on rare occasions have caused motion sickness in players. If either of them causes health issues for you, you can disable them in the game's preferences. Honestly, I would love to experience it fully, like the game fully. So maybe I'll do like 2 different versions of it. So a wide variety of people can actually enjoy the playlist or the games versus just like not being able to watch it in general because of a potential epileptic type of episode. So with that being said, I'm gonna get into it. Whatever horrors you may find in these dark spaces, have heart and see them through. There are no premature endings, there are no wrong decisions. There are only fresh perspectives and new beginnings. This is a love story. This is a love story. What? Okay. Hmm. And this here would be the scene where you could obviously see these things. Is that a finger? That is is that a nail? What is going on there? Yeah? What is that? Hmm. Alright. Oh my god. Why is this page so bright? Alright, let's see what the game looks like before I turn it on. I don't know what load game's for because I've never played this. Chapter 1: The Hero and the Princess.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
So I'm gonna read these out loud because I've been reading them to myself because like it kind of threw me off. I thought we were gonna advance the text. Also, I like how this is moving. The end of the world. What are you talking about? Which is probably what I'm gonna choose since this is the. I don't know. Have you considered that maybe she's the only reason she's going to end up in the world is because she's locked up? Killing the princess seems kind of bad, though, doesn't it? Can't someone else do it? Forget it. I'm not doing it. Have you considered that maybe I'm okay with the world ending? Do I get some sort of reward for this? Oh, okay. Thanks for telling me what to do. Sweet, I've always wanted to off a monarch, but that better reach beyond. Finally continued to the cabin. They're on it leave. What are we talking about here? Also, I kind of want to get the auto advanced text. If he's gonna narrate.
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
How can a princess locked away in a basement in the world? If you don't tell me why she's dangerous, I'm not going to kill her. Do you have any evidence to back that up? Have you considered that killing a princess is kind of bad, though? If I go to the cabin and I'll talk to her, and if she's as bad as you say she is, then maybe I'll slay her. I'm not committing to anything until I've had a chance to meet her face to face. So let's get this over with. Okay, thanks for telling me what to do. Sweet.
Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
I need some backstory. Like, what do you mean? I'm not gonna just jump up and go kill somebody after the title was just like, this is a love story. Like, what? Do you have any evidence to back this up? No, but this seems kind of bad, though, doesn't it? Have you considered that maybe I'm okay with the world ending? I mean, I am, personally. Do you have any evidence to back this up?
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey.
Personally, I just opened up this game, so I mean, I didn't start a journey. This is the start of it, so I can just go home.
Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
Narrator, you sounded kind of crazy. Because, like, I was like, at first I was like, okay. I don't really care about monarchy. But then you go and you say, is it much worse than slaying a fisherman, a miller, or a seamstress? You're still slaying people. Like, what? If he was gonna say some slaying a fish or something, like, yeah, give me the lemon pepper and the hot sauce. But, like, you over here talking about people. These are people. They have families. Like, why is this princess locked up? Can someone else do this?
If only that were the case. But I don't make the rules. I have to say, I'm surprised at your reluctance thus far. But unfortunately for the both of us, you're the only one who can pull this off. Like I said, I don't make the rules. No matter how much I wish I did. Of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end.
I mean, personally, I would mind.
Maybe some people do. nihilists or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those, right?
I mean, perspective is crazy. Alright, have you considered that maybe the only reason she's planning to end the world is because she's locked up?
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock.
Okay.
Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation.
Okay.
Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that. It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
Yeah, do I
Yes,
get a reward
you
for
have to
this?
slay her before you get it.
Can you tell me my price is for doing a good
It's
job?
a secret, but I think you'll like it. It's a special reward, just for you. And whatever you think it might be, I can promise you it's going to be even better than your wildest imagination.
It's probably gonna be prison. Yeah, because you just went up and you just killed a princess. High treason. Look, I'll go to the cabin and I'll talk to her, and if she's as bad as you say she is, then maybe I'll slay her. But I'm not committing to anything until I've met that chance.
Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out. Then each and every one of us is doomed. So sure, go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Hey sis, before we come in here, I want to let you know I'm on your side.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
I'm just gonna go in.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
Yeah, I'm just checking in.
You are? It's been so long since anyone's come down here. I was starting to think they'd forgotten about me.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's beautiful. How could someone like this be of threat to anyone?
I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
He said we must stay focused, my brother.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains?
Like, hold on, let's talk for a bit.
Okay.
What's your name?
Oh,
She pauses, carefully formulating her words before she responds.
you can address me as Your Royal Highness. Or you can just call me Princess if Your Royal Highness is too formal.
Is Princess her name or her title? What if it's both? Could you imagine being named Princess Princess?
So is Princess your name? Yeah, why not? See if it pisses her off.
Like I said, you can call me Princess if you'd like. I'm sorry, I've been down here so long, I guess I've just forgotten. I must have a name, though. Everyone has a name.
Okay, that's weird. She hadn't even thought to pick a name for herself. Hopefully you're starting to see that she can't be trusted. Go back upstairs, get the blade, and slay her before it's too late.
I'm the first person you've seen in a while. What have you been eating or drinking?
I don't see what that has to do with anything.
It does.
This is the only time this is ever going to happen, but I agree with the princess. That's hardly relevant. Okay, but actually, what has she been eating? She has to eat, right?
Both of them are weird. I'm not gonna hold you. Because I wanted to talk to her first to see what was going on. But both of them are kind of weird. Because it's like, you don't have a name. You haven't addressed what you've been eating. How long has she been locked up down here? Because now we're moving from normal human to supernatural. You know what I'm saying? She could have. What? I've had a spoon of bread. Give me a crumb of biscuit. I crave a tea. You know? Nothing. She's just surviving on oppression. I don't know anything about you. For all I know, you're locked up down here for a reason. I was sent here to slay you. You're apparently supposed to end the world. What are you going to do if I let you out? I'm going to keep you locked away down here, at least for a little bit. We can get to know each other better while I decide what to do. Keep her locked away. I'm sorry, but I just can't trust you. This doesn't add up, and it isn't worth the risk to take your word over the potential fate of the world. Retrieve the blade. Go back upstairs to retrieve the blade without saying another word. I can't believe that they've been keeping you down here like this. I'm getting you out of here. Okay, I'm gonna get you out of here, but don't make me regret this. Yeah, we need to talk more.
Of course I'm locked up down here for a reason.
Okay, what is it?
I don't actually know what that reason is, but you don't just stuff a princess in a basement and throw away the key without there being some sort of an explanation, right?
You have all the explanation you need.
No, we
you
didn't.
should know better than to trust whatever she comes up with.
What are you gonna do if I let you out of here?
The princess hesitates before responding.
She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life.
She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you want to hear.
Are you looking for the truth, or are you looking for the right answer? Because with the dynamic we have going on here, I don't think the specifics of what I do really matter.
You're kind of sassy. Someone trying to save you.
It's not like you'd believe me.
Yeah.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think.
I
don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here for so long.
That's... How long has she been locked away?
Did they tell you how I'm supposed to end the world?
No, but I'm sure they have their reasons for keeping that secret information secret from me. No, which is why I don't think you're actually dangerous. I was hoping you'd tell me.
I don't know how to destroy the world, if that's what you're getting at.
I believe her.
I don't.
She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. I don't trust that, and I don't think you do either, or you wouldn't have come down here to talk.
She has a point. We're talking like this for a reason.
So this shouldn't be about what I'd do if I got out of here, or me saying the right thing to convince you to save me. This is about how messed up this whole situation is. This is my life we're talking about. Do you really think I can even end the world? Why would I even want to? We both know that if there's people we can't trust in this situation, it's whoever locked me down here. And it's whoever sent you here. And those two groups are probably one and the same.
Don't let her turn the tables here. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person. And a subjugating monarch, no less.
I won't kill you, but I can't just set you free. It's too risky. What if I stayed for a while and just kept you company? Maybe then everyone could be happy? We're going to keep you locked away down here, at least for a little bit. We can get to know each other better while we decide what to do. I'm gonna keep you company.
That seems like a pretty good compromise.
I don't think I could bear being down here that much longer.
Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out.
So I'm the only one who liked that idea.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. It would make it easier for both of us if you'd help. But if you don't, I can promise that you'll regret that decision.
Oh.
You have to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one.
Yeah, girl.
Thank you.
I'll be right back,
You
girl.
turn back to the stairs, intent on retrieving the blade in the cabin.
I love something.
Where are you going? You can't just leave me here. Fine, turn your back on me, but it won't be long before I slip these chains. chains. And once I'm out of here, there will be hell to pay for leaving me behind.
Slip these chains? She can't, right? She needed our help to get out of here. But do you hear the conviction in her voice? I don't think she's bluffing.
She has to be bluffing, but hurry. You rush up to the first floor, grabbing the blade, both yours and the world's only possible salvation.
Okay, if we're sure about this decision, I'll support it. I suppose we have a world to save after all.
She switched on me way too quick, girl.
You slowly creep down the basement
She about to kill us, though.
It's quiet.
I waited too long.
Where the princess sat only a moment ago, there's only a severed arm, its cooling flesh still chained to the wall. And she is nowhere to be seen. Is it just me? Or did this room get a lot bigger?
Yeah,
This is a dangerous play.
I'm gonna just leave.
Who's to say she'll actually succumb to her wounds?
Okay, you have a point.
She doesn't have a weapon, and she's missing an arm. You can finish this right here, right now.
I'm just trying to leave. She free. I don't know what they talking about, but the room got bigger. She didn't shoot her arm off. The bitch want, but let me tell you, she want revenge. And as someone who I get it. It would be just best for me to lock the door and leave. Honestly, I feel like that would be the smartest thing to do right now. But for content purposes, you're right. Let's finish this.
Your eyes dart to the corners of the room. You don't see her.
Where is she?
Close the door behind you.
You close the door behind you. Almost magically, its locks immediately click into place. Maybe they'll open if you finish the job.
Do you want to play a waiting game?
Wait.
I've been down here a long, long time. I'm very good at waiting.
You do your best to patiently wait her out. But eventually, exhaustion starts to set in.
Come on, wake up. We can't fall asleep down here.
You step into the shadows. Too late, you hear the quiet patter of feet against the basement floor, followed by the taut pull and sharp pain of tearing flesh as the princess lunges into you from behind and drags you to the floor. The ferocity overwhelms you, and as the princess rends flesh from bone, your limp fingers lose their grip on the blade. It slips from your hand, your one last means of defense, lying useless beside you in a pool of your cooling blood. I suppose you just lacked the will to fight back.
This is the end, isn't it?
I'm afraid it is. You shouldn't have let that fear creep into your heart. You had the upper hand, and now look at you. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Well,
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin.
oh my god, I'm stuck
And
in
in
a
the
time
basement
loop.
of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I'm getting a terrible. Would I die? What am I doing here?
I can assure you that you're not dead. And to answer your second question, you're here to slay the princess. I literally told you that a second ago.
We're in a time loop. Oh,
If
brother.
he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. If he doesn't remember what happened, then something else must have trapped us here.
You're not trapped here. Nobody's forcing you to do anything, though the only sensible thing for you to do right now is march up to that cabin and slay the princess.
I mean, let's assume I'm telling the truth and all this really did already happen. Why should I listen to you? Why should I bother doing anything?
Those are two very different questions, but fine. I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. We did our best with the information we were given. And yet you still died, didn't you? So, great, congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We were killed by the princess and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? All the more reason to keep our wits about us, should we even return to the cabin. We could find a safe little hole somewhere instead. You have to go to the cabin. If you don't slay the princess, she's going to end the world, which you're always going to be a part of, even if you're cowering in a hole. There's no escaping your responsibility here.
Okay, let's talk about this princess.
Just be quick about it. People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
Okay, so if people locked her away, why couldn't they slay her? Why is this falling on me?
I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are. Oh, I didn't know we were special. Of course you're special. Why else would you be here? Special can mean all sorts of things. Don't let it make you careless. We need clear thoughts and pricked ears.
So there's a voice of the hero and voice of the hunted and the narrator. These people are talking.
She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given to you.
You're being cagey. What aren't you telling me?
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. If you want us to stand a chance against her, we need to be armed with information. What is she really capable of? How are we supposed to stop her? Not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go for all of us. I know it sounds like I'm hiding something, but you're just going to have to take me at my word.
Alright, so obviously if we're stuck in a time loop, I'm just gonna
You're afraid, aren't you?
kill her.
Just like us. Of course I'm afraid. Fear is an extremely normal thing to feel when the fate of the entire world is at stake. But that's not the only thing you're afraid of. You're scared of something worse. Stop projecting your neuroses onto me and just get to the cabin already.
She killed me the last time around. How can I make sure that doesn't happen?
Like I said, if she killed you, it was probably because you didn't listen to me. Don't talk to her, don't trust her, just go in, do your job, and save the world.
Alright, fine, bro. That's all, bro.
Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
I do want to do that turn around and leave option, because that was the first thing that popped up in my mind as soon as I saw it the first time. But for the content, let's go kill her.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she said. Does a cat lie to a cornered mouse when it plays with its freedom? Or is it just acting out its nature? I don't see why that matters. A lie's a lie, and if anything, she's the one who's cornered.
We died, bro.
She could have gotten out of there whenever she wanted to. We should trust nothing that she tells us, only what we hear and smell. That's a very roundabout way of saying that you should listen to me and take this seriously. Maybe.
Maybe strongly. See if we can get more information out of her this time. I'm gonna take the knife just in case.
The interior of the cabin is ruinous and dilapidated.
It's changed.
It feels like no one has lived here for a long time. Wind rushing in through cracks and holes in the wooden walls. The only furniture of note is a termite-eaten table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Where did this mirror come from?
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. What a strange thing to lie about. Maybe he doesn't see it. Much like he hasn't seen what's already happened. Exactly. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would a mirror even do? Let you waste time preening yourself instead of doing what needs to be done. Very different. I wonder why. Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess.
I feel like he knows,
So focus up.
but he's trying to like gaslight us into believing none of that happened.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago.
Why do
Now it's gone.
Why do we have this hand?
You take the blade from the table. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what's left of an old wooden staircase. It's still sturdy enough that you can make your way down in one piece, though you'll have to be mindful of holes. The air seeping up from below is oddly warm and wet, as if you're descending into a jungle. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. She growls up the stairs.
I can smell you.
She sounds almost feral, impatient, or maybe eager. You carefully make your way down the stairs. The last step gives way to the damp earth floor of a starlit pit. The walls are obscured by an impenetrable darkness, giving the illusion that the room might stretch on forever. You brush against the wide leaves of plants that surround you on all sides, seemingly the only living things that occupy this strange underground wilderness. The jungle is pressing in on us, hiding her from view. She could be anywhere. You see only a flash of the princess before she scurries away into the underbrush, dragging her heavy chain behind her. Remember, she's just a princess. She is certainly not just a princess. You're not helping. It doesn't matter what she is. It only matters what she does. Her shining eyes appear between the leaves, staring hungrily at you from the darkness.
I can hear your heart pounding from the bottom of the stairs, fledgling. You're right to be terrified. I'm so much more than you. And a little splinter clutched in trembling hands won't save you from me.
A shiver rushes up your spine and pulls you upright. The air's shifting. She's getting ready to pounce. Move, now.
I'm gonna move.
You lunge to the side, picking a direction on instinct. As you land, you're buffeted by a gust of air, disturbed by the sudden motion of a massive body. The princess. In an instant, she's pounced on the spot where you would have been, her chains rattling across the floor behind her. Before you can blink, she's gone, vanishing once more into the shadows. But you still feel her gaze on you.
You're faster than you were before, but you're still meek, reactive, prey.
You whirl around to find her, and your gaze meets hers, a pair of shining eyes peering out at you from just beyond the basement stairs. So she's cut off our escape. Shit. What do we do?
We don't have to kill each other. What if I helped you? What if we left it together? If you can get out of here on your own, wouldn't you have left my... This man says, of course you out here murdering princesses. Look, this woman has killed me. If you can get out of here on your own, wouldn't you have already left? I've sent to kill you because you're a threat to the world. I'm starting to believe that's true.
You cannot reason your way out of this, fledgling. There's no compromise with what I am.
At least she's upfront about her intentions.
What do you want?
I want to swallow you whole, and I will get what I want. You have no exit. You have no hope. You live and die by my whims, and my whims alone.
Don't ask her what she wants, just slay her.
Is that all the advice you have? We don't even know what she looks like. Some specifics would be very helpful.
She's just a princess. Don't overthink it.
She is clearly not.
She's coiling for another strike. Be somewhere else.
We're on the back foot.
The back foot keeps us nimble, keeps us alive. It doesn't matter if it keeps us alive, if it eventually kills us. We need to take back the momentum. We need to do something.
How is Dr. supposed to take back the momentum here? Oh my goodness. I feel like I want to stand still. For the content!
There's a shift in the humid air, and something enormous, the princess, lunges from the shadows, her maw unhinged and dripping, her eyes fierce and full of hunger. She is too quick to outrun, too nimble to outmaneuver, too determined to overpower. This is her domain. You are devoured. I guess that's it then, isn't it? Unfortunately for you, no, this isn't it. You are in a dark and caustic place. A thick, fibrous lining constricts around you, its slick surface impossible to grip. Your hands scrabbling uselessly at your surroundings as they compress in on you. Your lungs can barely expand in such a tiny space. Not that the humid, finite air grants you more than a few shallow breaths at a time. The liquid pooling beneath you starts to seep into your skin. You itch, then sting, then burn as the acid begins its slow work.
When I killed you, I tried to leave this place, but it wouldn't let me. You belong down there, it screamed at me. The world is better off without you in it.
The flesh around you rumbles as the princess begins to move, her thundering footfalls twisting you helplessly about. Your skin protests as the corrosive liquid sloshes around you, but there will be no respite for you in sight. The burning grows stronger, and you can feel layers of you being peeled away.
But you don't belong down here. You came from somewhere else. You came from out there. So I consumed your dead heart, and I carried it in my throat, and I draped what was left of you on my back, and I threw myself against that door.
She stops, her muscles tensing around you, and through the muffling layers of her flesh, you hear the whine of straining metal. And with a pop, she lurches forward, your body lurching right along with her. Her chains. She's loose.
But even then, it denied me freedom. You cannot fool me by draping yourself in decay. I know your true nature, and it is suffering.
Gravity pulls at you as you're hefted upwards, the distant creaking of ancient wooden steps barely audible over the thudding of the princess's heart.
And then it was gone, and I was here. A new enclosure, a nicer cage, but still a prison. I learned from my wounds. You're alive now. We can leave together.
Does that work? Could she free herself if we're alive in here? Do you really need me to give you a definitive answer for you to understand that the situation is grim? Stop her. Do something. You still have that steel claw. Tear through her before we are her. Survive. Or we could use it to make this quick for ourselves. If she needs us in order to leave, we could at least deny her that. That is a bad thing to do.
You could have asked me before swallowing me alive. Spit me out and I'll kill myself and nobody gets to leave.
Though you have little room to move, you use what strength you can muster to drive the blade forward into the thick walls of tissue digesting you.
I feel like if she has no problem hurting me, then, you
I
know.
can feel you tearing through me, but are you swift enough for it to matter?
Your body is violently jostled, the disruption causing burning skin to slop from raw muscle, and you hear what you can only assume is the princess pulling against the door to the cabin.
The cage is still locked.
You know what?
In an act of spiteful defiance, you pull your weapon to your throat, your shaking, ulcerous hand clenched tight around its hilt. And then you draw it across your bubbling veins.
Okay,
Your
so
blood flows out, filling the tiny space inside the princess. You start to fade. A waste of a good life. It's better than giving in to her.
right.
But in the end, the opinions of stray voices mean little in the grand scheme of things. Everything goes dark, and you die.
I just slayed myself. This is my third life. I tried to be nice to her the first time around.
We are a path in the woods. We have no beginning, and we have no end. But something cold and unnatural sits watching us from just beyond our edge. His gaze pushes against our borders, curling them in on themselves, preventing them from stretching to the places they need to reach.
No, that's all wrong. You're not a path in the woods, you're on a path in the woods. Who's even saying that? That's not the princess, is it? Oh no. How many times have you been here? I think this is our third? That's bad. That's very, very bad. It wasn't even supposed to reach 2. If you're at 3, well, no wonder things aren't the way they're supposed to be. Let's get our facts straight. What happened last time? What could you have possibly done for things to be like this?
The thing that sits beyond our edge speaks his logic into us. He tries to grasp at things that cannot be grasped. He tries to stare with wide pupils at that which can only be held from the corner of the eye or with a passing glance.
Shut up. The rest of you, talk. What happened? What did you do? We're part of her because she consumed us. Can she hear us if we talk?
I can hear everything, little one, but you don't have to be afraid of me. There's no place where you end and I begin. Nothing can hurt you here. Not anymore.
It shouldn't count as her eating us if we offed ourselves. We're still here, though. And if we're safe, isn't that better?
No.
I guess this is fine. Doesn't feel half bad. Miles better than being dissolved, anyway. She ate you. And now you're convinced that you're stuck together. What a mess.
Sorry,
He
bruh.
doesn't understand. We aren't convinced of anything, and we aren't stuck together. We're one. This is how we're supposed to be. Can't you feel it?
Why should anyone do anything right now? This is fine. I like being like this. Why are you being nice to me? Aren't you a monster? Didn't you eat me? I can feel the pressure of outside pushing in on us. What are we supposed to do about it? Whatever we are right now is an abomination. I want out. Thank you, narrator. How do I stop her?
You can start by remembering that you exist, and not as some part of a gestalt entity formed with the princess. You exist as your own self, complete with your own physical body, separate from hers. I'm not so sure about that. We were something like that once, but now? And if thinking about that isn't enough to startle you back to reality, consider this. The princess ate you last time. Stop passively vibing with a literal predator and remember that you're enemies. Remember what she's done to you and how much it hurt.
We can't go back to that. We can't go back to the fear and the hunger and the pain. Not after being something as beautiful as this. Doesn't all that conflict feel so far away right now? So petty? We've been posed against each other by something that understands the strength of our unity.
I can feel a thumping, a heartbeat, like a distant terror that keeps getting louder the more we pay attention.
Please, stop. If you let it in, we'll fall apart. Don't look at it!
Hold yourself together. We're no strangers to effort. We can push this back down. Something might do us in eventually, but I'll be damned if that something is a thought.
Please, don't make us remember how I was.
And just like that, you start to fall apart. I can remember it now. I didn't like being eaten. I'd forgotten how much it burned. And the air was so hard to breathe. She didn't care. She didn't care at all.
At least we didn't have to sit through it to the end. But I think she owes us, don't you, lads? She barely felt more than a little indigestion while we burned away inside of her.
As you remember the terror and pain you felt at the hands of the princess, you start to remember something else, too. You remember that you are a distinct being with a finite form and a mortal body. You can feel it. There is a shifting of the space around you, the infinitesimal movement of your molecules rearranging back into the shape of what you're meant to be.
No, I devoured you. I won. I put things back the way they were supposed to be.
Some division, when sown, can never truly be mended. A cavernous gash rips across whatever it was you thought you were. A cabin comes into being among the trees. It approaches, and it swallows your body whole. And then you find yourself, blade in hand, exactly where you need to be. At the center of it all is the princess, a wooden and fleshy heart beating with an unbroken rhythm. You're filled with a sense of purpose. Strike at her. End this once and for all.
I feel empty, don't you?
This doesn't feel like a fight. This isn't what I wanted. Where's the victory in this?
No, for real.
Safe. She isn't dangerous anymore. We could leave her. We could both live. Do we have to do this?
You have to. You know you have to.
Never really wanted to kill you, not really, but we can't be the same thing as each other. I had to put an end to whatever happened to us. Man, fuck her.
You raise the blade, taking aim at her heart. And then you strike.
I'm sorry.
But you never see her die. Something has taken her away, and it's left something else in her
She's gone.
place.
Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
I don't know where she went, and I don't know how we even go about looking for her. The narrator is gone. I think I'm supposed to look at the mirror.
I'm begging you, don't do this.
Okay, you approach the mirror.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final. That thing reeks of death.
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
The voices feel small, distant as you approach. Silence as you reach for it. They're gone, but the mirror remains. It's time for you to see what's in it. Body, it's you. You're alone in a place that is empty. It's quiet here. See to the cabin. You're at the cabin. Approach her.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
Let's see. Do you know the narrator?
You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us.
What are you?
I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you?
What do you think I am?
Thoughts without connections. A dim and nascent network. I wish to be more.
What do you think I am?
I think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
Are you what sent me to slay the princess? Are you what trapped me here?
I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free.
Are you the princess?
She is part of me, and part of me is her.
Or were you always the princess, or are you just making her a part of yourself?
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
What happens now?
Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
I was sent to slay the princess to stop her from destroying the world. If I help you, is that what you're going to do? And what if I don't let you do this to me? How many more pieces of you do I have to find? Aren't you scared that I'll find a way to kill you?
I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
How many more pieces of you do I have to find?
More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home.
I was sent to slay the princess to stop her from destroying the world. If I help you, is that what you're going to do?
You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold.
You're being semantic. What are you going to do if I help you?
How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated.
And what if I don't let you do this to me?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now. Unfinished, dry, hollow.
How much will I forget?
Everything, until we meet again.
Okay.
She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
Everything goes dark and you die. Chapter 1. A wounded vessel. Bring the wounded wild to her.
You're on a path in the woods,
The royal
and at the
slave, the
end of that
princess
path
start here.
is a
You'll know
cabin.
it when you see
And in
it.
the basement of that cabin,
You can skip previously seen dialogue by hitting tab on your keyboard.
you make your way up the short path to the cabin. The interior of the cabin is almost... You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
We're going right into business. Let's go.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives